Hello. Today I'm going to talk about my first results from the Jackrabbit savings account module. And also I'm going to talk about a addition to the module called the sideways breaker. First, let's start with the sideways breaker. You'll see for this coin, Nano, I'm not using it. But for Atom, I am using it. The difference is exactly how it performs. I'm going to demonstrate with Atom specifically. Now here we have the average, the current percentage below the average, and the number of buys that I am at. For the time being, let's turn off the sideways breaker. And you'll see just how much it's changed the number of buys. Now I'm going to move to the 1 hour chart temporarily so I can demonstrate this particular run or cycle. Now so far, this is June, May, April, all the way back to March. So this cycle has been running for 3 months. And it's going nowhere fast, and it's just stuck in this channel between the take profit and the last deviation boundary. The whole point of the sideways breaker is to disrupt this mess. So let's turn it back on. Normally it defaults to 3 days, but I liked what I saw with 1 day for my particular risk assessment. And now we see, let's go ahead and hide this. All of these red triangles are where the sideways breaker disrupted that sideways channel, that rut. Now right here you'll notice it's not working. This is because TradingView actually doesn't have complete time data for the sideways channel and a side breaker to be able to evaluate this information. In fact, I have found that some coins don't even run 24 hours a day. A good example is a coin like Dusk. The day before yesterday, or Friday evening, it went offline for 12 hours. So, even though you may see something like this, don't worry, because as you can see, when it does have the proper data from TradingView, it does work very well. And even if it itself doesn't work, the regular averaging algorithm will work normally. Now, the important thing about the sideways breaker is it only runs at most once a day. Because every time you see it disrupt the regular average, it disrupts the regular fixed stepping process. So if you have a very limited budget, do not use the sideways breaker, because it can take as much or more 3 times the budget. Be aware of that when you're testing. The sideways breaker will consume more budget. But for coins like Atom that have a severe rut, that can last for months. The sideways breaker is the best way to really shake this up. If the market won't move, then you have to move the market. And that's what the sideways breaker does. But be sure to carefully test it appropriate to your own risk assessment. Now let's scale it down into different time frames, and you'll see better views on how it's able to disrupt the market and get better profits. Okay, so now let's go back to the 1 minute time frame, the time frame I'm actually using. Now, as you can see, here are my coin choices. These are what I'm actually trading. Now, once BAT sells off, I will be out of this market completely. It's just not as much of a performer as I would like it to be, even with sideways trading. It just doesn't trade at the frequency I would like compared to Atom. As you can see, it just kind of sits here. If I had more budget than what I have, then I would probably get back into it. But the other thing with BAT is there are a lot of these near misses. Almost there, but not quite. So for me, for the scope and scale that I'm looking for, again, here's some more near misses. For right now, I'm going to put this one on the back burner and replace it with Atom as my mainstay. Now, Nano is an unusual choice. I'm actually not using the sideways breaker on this coin at all. I don't need to, because it trades fairly well. As you can see from the signals, it does reasonably well, and it gets a lot of good trades. So, let's go back to the regular screen, and you'll see where we are at right now. Okay, a dirty trick for synchronizing your charts. Move every chart over so that you get this arrow and click on them all at once. Then we use the control left right arrow. All three charts move in sequence. And it makes it easier to compare all three price points on a basis of your price action data. So, we see Nano sold off, 22 buys here, 21 buys here. So as you can see, these are fairly comparable in terms of the rate and frequency of operation, with Atom being slightly faster with the sideways breaker. And it should be noted that I am using the sideways breaker on BAT as well. As you can see here with the red triangle, this is the sideways breaker. Now notice it raised the average. So the sideways breaker will raise your average, but it will not push you into a situation where you take a loss. So that's something to be aware of, is that even though you won't have as much profit, you will not take a loss. The intelligence in the system does protect against that. Okay. You'll see that Atom used a sideways breaker here, and that coincided fairly close to a Nano also, although BAT didn't show it here. because of this deviation line was so far down. So as you can see, that the comparisons between each coin. Now here, BAT and Atom are reasonably close, and they compare well with Nano. For me, Nano actually turned out to be a surprise coin, simply because it's only got a 20 million market cap or net range, I believe. Very small compared to the other two, and yet it does really well. Plus, I like what the coin represents. So this, for me, is a good pick. But it is a higher risk. For example, XRP or XLM are less risk, but they don't perform as well as Nano for my particular risk assessment and financial situation. As you can see, it has a lot of opportunities for both buying and selling, far more than both BAT and Atom. So, now that we see the 3 coin choices that I am working with, let's talk results. I've had my bots running for about 5 days. I've got one bot on 3C that's dealing with the high-risk test analysis of CVC. I've got one bot running on Crypto Hopper that's running a whole bunch of coins, including 3 high-risk coins. I've also got a real money bot on Crypto Hopper running these 3 coins, with Atom being added just this morning. So let's take a look at 3C first. Now this is a high risk, 0.3 take profit, 0.3 deviation. As you can see, this is when I started it, and here are the profits per day. This is where I recycled this bot from a different test, but you'll see 3 days for no activity. So it's not bad, high risk, but you do need to be aware of the situations for a coin like CVC. It does well, but it does carry risk. Now this is also using the close all. In fact, let's come to deals. Let's go to deals history. $12 is not bad for the time frame. But the thing that we need to pay attention to, and I'm going to bring up a few, is the ending time. Crypto Hopper supports the auto merge. 3 commas doesn't. So I've had ending times as much as 3 minutes difference between the 2 coins. That is important when you need to sell everything at once. The advantage to the 3C way is if the market is trending up, you're going to get a bigger spread of profit with each sale individually. The disadvantage is that if the market takes a sharp turn down, any unsold items during the process could potentially take a loss. So this is a double-edged sword that could go either way. When in doubt, it's worth adding a few extra tenths of a percentage just as a little bit of a buffer. For example, 3C has a known slippage rate of 0.3%. So if your take profit is 1%, you might simply add 0.3% to it. Same thing with your deviation. Add that slippage to it so that you have a 1.3% deviation and a 1.3% take profit to take advantage of that situation to guarantee you a better place even if the market turns down quickly. So as you can see, $12. 3 days, $12. I'm averaging $4 a day. If I extrapolate that out, $4 a day times 10 to equal a 30-day period, I'm getting $40 a month. So this one single coin is making my break-even point. Not bad. Now, if I traded 2 coins and they both did equally well, I would be getting a $40 profit a month. So that's not bad at all. Okay, this is my real money bot. Here's the one I just sold off. Here's the rapid spike I picked up. That's right here. Sold off, picked up that rapid bump. Back to back. So that's what these two are. As you can see, not bad. Consistent and reasonable. Let's go to the stats. Now this bot started around the 11th. So let's fix this to the 11th. So according to Crypto Hopper, I made $32 in profit. So that is 5 days, $6 a day for 2 coins. And this is the highest my budget has gone in that 5-day period. Of course, right now everything is underwater and I've paid $12 in fees. So 32, take off 12, I've got a $20 profit. So basically $4 a day is what I've got clear right now. Not bad. Now I take that out. For the first month on 2 coins, I'm doing very well. And BAT has been very slow. Now once that's replaced with Atom, I should expect to have at least double the performance of BAT. Can you see the different profits and everything? Right now, Nano has been selling off quite quickly. BAT takes a very long time to sell off. But you see the number of trades I've done with each one. Now, Atom looks to be more like Nano, so I should see this kind of trading within a few days on Atom. And then, of course, a deposit, but you see overall how well the market has been doing for me. So let's go back to the, let's go to the trade history. Let's simplify this. Take out all of the buys. So that all we see is just the sells. And you see each of my situations. Now let's click on total. Here's my largest one to date. Not bad, fairly reasonable. So if you get 1.16 of 167, roughly $1.6 just on this one single trade. That's respectable. And as you can see, all the various profits, even the fast moving markets where it's a little bit low. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard. Here are my current positions. 231 wrapped up here, 86 wrapped up here. So right now I have 317 real money wrapped up in this. But as you can see, this is really doing pretty good. Slow and steady and consistent. Now let's go to my test bot. Paper money only, but the results here are just as important. And in both cases, I am using the auto merge. XLM is finally up there above water. And CVC, of course, has been a real performer. Higher risk, but definitely a real performer. The other two performers have been Beam and Dusk. But Dusk is a funny coin because it actually spent 12 hours offline Friday night. But still, take a look at these profits. Definitely something not to sneeze at. Okay, so let's go into our statistics. Now these will be messed up a little because a couple of days ago Crypto Hopper had some kind of bug. But the numbers that are here are where they should be. As of last night, this was at 3,000. So overnight, Dusk, Beam, and CVC required $6,000 to actually turn the market around. So that is something to be aware of when you're working with these low profile coins, is they will have a very huge impact on your budget over time. And as you can see, here are the buys and sells appropriately, the profits and the triggers. My average holding time, the top three coins, of course, are the ones that are the most aggressive. 0.3% deviation, 0.3% take profit. You see here the number of trades, each of the coins versus the other coins. And of course you see the amount of profits as an average. Now even though I'm only going for 0.3%, look at my averages. These are where the rubber hits the road if you can handle the risk. These are high risk coins. Do not underestimate that. They require a great deal more budget than normal, but they can produce a very generous profit. So you need to be aware of that factor. Let's go to the trade history. Again, we're going to take all the buy points out, and we're going to focus only on the sell markers. So here you have all the latest sells for this paper bot. My highest result to date has been on Beam. Now mind you, my take profit on this coin is only 0.3%, but yet it yielded 2.44%. So that's something to think about when you're looking at the amounts. But also be aware. And let's see if I can get the highest number here. Take a look at this. A huge amount to turn this around. But it did a generous profit. But that's still a huge amount. 0.2. So you're looking at $3,000 just for this one coin. And only this one coin. So $3,000, you're looking at $32 profit based upon this. So be aware of your risks. Do not underestimate these coins. Research every single one of them. Especially if you deal in high-risk coins. As you can see, they trade frequently. But their budgets can get insane if you're not prepared for them. So let's go to the dashboard. Right now, in 5 days with this setup, I've made $205 profit. That is insane for the amount that this is doing right now. So if you have the budget and you can afford the high risk coins, you can do very well. Even without the high risk coins, if you go with just the basic coins above 1 billion market cap, you're still looking at over $100 to, I would say, $100 to $130 profit just on the top 13 coins. When you are trading your coins and you're doing your research, make sure you focus on your risk assessment. That is important. If you don't have a large budget, be careful not to overextend what you have. Which is why in my real money bot, I only trading 2 coins. Just to make sure my budget doesn't get overextended. And to keep track of exactly how much I'm actually using. And so far, I haven't gone above $500 total. So right now, I've added a little more to my budget. I'm now up to 3 times what I'm trading. Which is why I made the decision to add Atom while I'm waiting for BAT to cycle off. But this is what I've used right now. So I paid $12 in fees, and this is my profit. Again, 5 days, 2 coins. Everything hinges on research. Make sure you take a look at the coins, their histories, and how rapidly they trade. Fast-moving coins can do well as long as you have a reasonable consensus of your budget. Some coins are higher risk. You need to be aware of those high-risk coins. Some coins represent good opportunities, but slower trading. For example, let's get out of this and go to my workspace, my scratch pad, if you will. And let's go to a coin that is usually very good. It is in the 1 billion market cap, but it has a real pain for getting rid of. So here you are, XRP. Let's make sure this is turned off. A very basic system. I'm going to go back to the 1 hour chart just so we can get a bigger picture of how long this coin can be stuck in a channel. Again, anything below the take profit but above the deviation becomes a sideways channel when you're dealing with 3 months of time. This is a headache. If you can afford to put large amounts down while you wait for this coin to turn around, it can be beneficial. But let's be honest. This is, for most people, $200. 3 months later, it's gone nowhere. This coin has been messed up since the collapse in February and still has not moved. This is the whole point of the sideways breaker, to take a coin like this and fix it. And as you can see, all the red markers are every time it's done a sideways breaker move. But it did break it and it did sell it off. Of course, TradingView missing its information, the algorithm just slept during this part. No harm done, it still made a profit. So even though it took a while, still, it took a month, almost 2 months to recover. And had TradingView have had the time frequency here, it might have cleared off quicker. But as you can see, it still did. And since then, it's made a lot of profits since. So if you have a coin that's just completely messed up in a channel, the sideways breaker is an option to look at. Test it in a paper trader, run it side by side in your real bot, compare results. That way you can actually see if this kind of a coin is better or worse. Because right here, this shows absolutely no signs of going anywhere quickly. None. We're only 20 steps below the average. And yet it's just close, not close enough. It's just not budging. So, look at the sideways breaker. Look at your coin. You will find a lot of coins that actually can benefit. Whereas some coins, you don't need them. You just need to have a little bit of patience. Stellar is a good example. Yes, you have a bit of a run here, but we come back to February, you see it's self-corrected. It didn't get stuck in that channel like XRP did. Waves, good coin, same thing, lots of fluctuations. It didn't stay down long at all. It pretty much recovered quickly from the February crash. As you can see, not a lot of bad there. This coin can really work. VET or VET. This is a funny coin. You see it stayed in a long channel for 3 months like most other coins. Let's see how it looks with the sideways breaker. It looks like it recovered fairly decently. More missing TradingView data. But overall, this coin seems to have done pretty good. a lot of buys and sells. So this is a pretty good coin as well. But you will have to weigh in the fact that you need the sideways breaker to make it really perform good. In my mind, that puts it at a higher risk compared to waves. Raven coin, same thing. You see red triangles, higher risk automatically, something to be aware of. So when you see these red triangles with the sideways breaker on, take a good look at the coin. This one really took a while to recover, and that's going to accumulate a lot of positions. Without this sideways breaker, it's probably going to be a hot mess. It is. Basically 2.5 month recovery period, but even then with the sideways breaker, look at how flat this is. This is going to be a mess to deal with this coin. I personally would just avoid this coin altogether just by looking at this history. Another sideways mess, and the thing of it is I like this coin, but after seeing this, it's not something I would necessarily openly trade. And it's nowhere even going near getting that. It's not close to getting near its average. So let's bring up the sideways breaker. Now that actually makes a difference. With the sideways breaker, if you can handle the risk, outside this right here, this is a bit of a rough spot. This would take quite a bit of budget to get past. But after that, this coin actually looks good. And something I would consider at this point. But still, beware of the risk. Risks are important. Same thing, a lot of red triangles, higher risk. Let's turn off the sideways breaker and see what the coin looks like with just stepping. Okay, it's stuck in a rut. Black Thursday had a big impact on a lot of coins, so you need to be aware of this kind of a channel. These are hard to get out of. Some coins just don't do well easily in getting out of them. Now this one did. It spiked, it did well. It's still got a pretty gnarly channel, but at least you can see the price action moving in one direction. That's a good sign. Here's another one. Price action's going in the right direction, but it broke, and now it's doing reasonably well. It's a little slower than I like, but it's still, compared to some of the other coins, a good one. Here's another one, Nano. This is one I picked as my personal driver. And yes, this was a wicked channel. But as you can see, it did climb pretty consistently. Though not particularly caring about this, but the results since then have been pretty consistent. And I do not use a sideways breaker on this one yet. It's been performing well enough that I don't feel a need to. But I may need to in the future if I get into another one of these ruts. Matic. Another coin, as you can begin to see, Black Thursday pretty much affected everything on the market. There are just a few exceptions, like waves, that really came out of it. Most coins, you can see, really struggle. So if you're looking for coins that have a good recovery, avoid these long channels. And that's why I like the 1 hour mark, because you can see these channels pretty clearly. And it gives, and this one here still hasn't recovered. LTC to date is still stuck in this channel. And that's going to be a hard coin to work with. If you trade this coin, you will have to use the sideways breaker. There's just no way around not trading this coin. But as you can see, it does produce results, but getting it out of this rut really took some work. So you do need to be aware that this coin is a much higher risk than other coins. I actually consider LTC a higher risk than Waves. And by no means is Waves even comparable against the market cap. Okay, Chainlink. It's got a lot of good rebounds there. Channel is not as long, so it recovered a lot faster than a lot of the others. This one, long channel, way out there. So you get the idea as you search through these coins. Smaller channels are better. More sell frequencies compared to buy frequencies are better. And when a coin is really stuck in a channel like this, the sideways breaker may be your way out. Like this one, couple of near misses. Near miss here, near miss here. But it's still stuck in this rut from Black Thursday. This one, the rut wasn't so bad. A lot of good performance here. And this is without the sideways breaker. So this is actually a pretty decent coin. Surprisingly, again, because this is a higher risk coin, just because it doesn't have the market cap. But it's actually performing very well. And recovery is a lot better than a lot of the coins above 1 billion. So this is definitely something to look at if you can handle the risk. Here we go, another coin. A lot of push back and forth with this one. Large channel, couple of month recovery. And it's still pretty slow here. Look at these channels. The candlesticks here being so wide, I personally would not trade this coin for this situation. Okay, here it's another one, Dash. The coin that I have a love-hate relationship with. This coin can be a pain to work with, but when it works great. When it takes a dive, it hurts. So trade with this one with care. Watch out for the channels. As you can see, it can take quite a bit of time here, but it does have the fact that you really don't need the sideways breaker, as there's nothing over the top with it. It is fairly consistent. Of course, Bitcoin, everybody's darling. Good, bad, positive growth here, reasonably consistent. So, BNB still stuck in a rut. Couple of near misses. You have to have the sideways breaker on this, because technically it still has not recovered from Black Thursday. Coins that haven't recovered from Black Thursday are not my top choices. Just because if I'm on a fixed budget, these scare me. These are saying your budget is going to go out the door. Because in order to fix this coin, you need more than you can think of. So, if I see too many of these, I tend to rethink my coin choices. Having a couple show up here and there, I don't worry about. Having that many on that kind of a run, that concerns me. So, as you can see, working with the changes here, working with these coins. Another one, no end in sight for this nightmare. Not my first choice. Good coin. Coin is above 1 billion, very stable. But this is a nightmare. When is this ever going to end? Will it ever end for this coin? Without the sideways breaker, is this kind of a stuck rut pattern going to continue? This is a problem. Bat. One of the reasons why I chose it. It's a good, stable coin. It may not have the highest market cap, but it has value, and it does perform well. And it got out of this rut. It took it some time, but it did. Atom. Atom is still stuck in a rut. The only reason why I'm trading it is I like the coin. Is it my smartest decision? Probably not. But I like it. I like what the coin represents. And I hate to say it, the coin does well. There's not that bad of a run. It has a very quick return, very quick turnaround. I'll probably regret trading this coin, to be honest. But for the most part, it does produce. And it looks like it's going to continue production pretty good. This scares me. Because quite frankly, look at how much it took to turn this coin around. This can be a nightmare to deal with, and I may only want to deal with this short term. Meaning I might want to make a couple of good scalps out of it, and then I might want to move to waves or engine, just because this is a hot mess. When you see something like this is something to be scared of, because this means this is going to hurt the budget. So be aware of these kind of factors. This is a coin you probably want to put a stop loss on, and if it goes below 30 buys, cut, get out, find something else. Not necessarily something you want to just sink your budget in, hook, line, and sinker. Good coin, but be careful. Another coin. Oh, this is just a nightmare. Look at this. It still hasn't recovered, even with the sideways breaker. Look at what this nightmare is. This is a coin, quite frankly, even before Black Thursday. Look at how horrible this coin is. This is just a nightmare. A complete Frankenstein coin. I would, all the way up to its inception on TradingView, it's been one nightmare after another. Let's turn off the sideways breaker and see if it has any redeeming effects. No redeeming effects. This has been a sinking coin since the day it was conceived and TradingView started tracking it. Not a coin I would want to get near. 99 positions. I would not want to do this. This coin scares me. This coin is, I hate to say it, and I really don't like using this because it scares me to have to say that this coin could be a pump and dump just by looking at its historical track record. This is a DCA money suck. And from the market prices, it doesn't have any redeeming value whatsoever. Personally, I would blacklist this coin. I would never work with it, just because even for its complete inception, it's never once broken an average. Of course, ADA. It does well like all the rest of the coins above 1 billion. It had its channel run. It suffered Black Thursday. But for the most part, it's a reasonable coin to work with. Will it do better with sideways analysis? Obviously, probably yes, but beware of your budget. Will it kill your budget? Right here, this tells me yes. This can be a headache. Always look for these runs. This is a nightmare. I would not want to trade this coin long term just because of that. Good coin, but not something I personally would want to get into. Okay, 0x. Same story, typical run from Black Thursday, some redeeming qualities, a second sideways run. I'm not too keen on this coin personally. It does well, but I just don't like having multiple long-term runs. This is, oh boy, nice here. Turnaround is real nice. But man, look at this channel. This channel, how far back does this thing go? Good grief. Almost a year stuck in a channel. This coin's going to be high maintenance. Yeah. Right now, a lot of people are talking about this coin, but I don't know. This just does not look good. Oh man, it isn't either. See, February 17th, it turned around. It's done good after that, but it's got quite a few runs here. If you've got the capital to support these runs, maybe. But this, oh my God. To me, this is another money suck of a coin. Look at these runs. Just too many runs for my liking. I personally would not deal with this coin. Not something I would get near, not something I'd want to even touch. Just not a good coin in my opinion. Zcash. Reasonable, not bad. Requires a higher budget than some of the others, but overall, not bad. Not a lot to really worry about. Got stuck here quite a bit. And let's see how it looks with this sideways. See if that run is as bad as it looks. Yep, that breaker run is bad. I'd say be cautious. I personally wouldn't touch this coin. Not with these kind of runs. When I see these kind of long runs like this, even with the sideways breaker, that's just your money going out the window for no reason. I wouldn't touch this. Tezos, the new favorite kid on the block. Good relationship between buys and sells. Typical right here for the Black Thursday recovery. Oh, not bad here. Bit of a dry spot here, but still not bad. Not over the top compared to some. I don't know if I would use a sideways breaker on it, because this might be a little too much. Let's see. Then again, it might actually be a good fit. Let's turn it on and see. Nope, it's not. Not enough historical data and trading view for the sideways breaker to make any assessments here. But looking at this pattern, this is a run I wouldn't get near. So it's not a coin I would really worry about as a top pick. As a secondary pick or a coin that I would want to get near for staking, for example, this could be a very good staking coin. Put something in it, let it trade once in a while, pick up the staking rewards as they happen, but I wouldn't make it a priority coin. Just not a very strong performer. And then, of course, I've already covered this, so we've gone full circle. So, coin choice is everything. Make sure you take your time. The savings account can work wonders for the market, but the wrong coin can just be bad from beginning to end. So take your time. Do your research. Don't take shortcuts. Until next time.